Now, looking back at the week, South Korea's strategic industries saw a series of significant and promising developments, from major corporate deals to new policy roadmaps aimed at positioning the country more strongly on the global stage. Now, to help us break down what these moves mean and assess the outlook, we're joined by Kim Yong-Jin, professor at Sogang Business School. Professor Kim, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. So, Professor, I first want to start off with the semiconductor industry, South Korea's key exports. So the government unveiled a new strategy on Wednesday to further strengthen the country's competitiveness in semiconductors. So from your perspective, what stood out to you the most in this plan, and how effective do you think these measures will be?
Well, as you mentioned, President Lee presided over the K-semiconductor vision and fostering strategy briefing for the year at the Yongsan presidential office, and discussing on detailed tasks for advancing to become one of the world's top 2 global semiconductor leaders. My heart is beating, right? I'm really happy to see this strategy planning done, by the government, when considering the semiconductor industry has been the key driver of our economic development and is, highly important national strategic industry from the perspective of economic security. To me, the key word in the meeting, which look the most important, are the development and commercialization of next generation memory and neural processing unit, and on-device AI semiconductors, and expanding semiconductor ecosystem. How effective are the measures? I like the way of formulating and presenting the strategic plan. It has been built through a joint government effort. Many government departments participate in the planning, and also private sectors. So private sectors, I think, involved, highly, and which will increase the implementation possibility of the plan. So I think that will be very effective.
We'll definitely have to keep in how effective the plans will be. Now, meanwhile, shifting our views to the U.S., U.S. President Donald Trump this week gave Nvidia the green light to sell its advanced AI chips to China, which also made headlines around the world. So how might this move affect Korean semiconductor firms like Samsung Electronics and SK hynix? Could this be an opportunity or more of a risk?
I think it is really, really good news to Korean semiconductor manufacturers that, like you mentioned, the U.S. President Donald Trump has approved export of Nvidia's high-performance H200 artificial intelligence chips to China. It has been banned. They only H20 chips, was allowed to be exported to China. H200 is high-end chip. So although it does not match, latest Blackwell graphic processing unit, GPU, the H200, which is also based on Nvidia's Hopper architecture, delivers far stronger performance than the downgraded H220 chips currently sold in the Chinese market. So the resumption of higher-end AI chip export could drive an immediate jump in demand for its critical component, HBM, or high bandwidth memory. So if you have higher performance of AI chip, you need to have higher bandwidth memory. So H200 uses 6 fifth generation HBM3E modules. That's the technical term. And then the 2 Korean chip makers, Samsung Electronics and SK hynix, jointly control nearly 80% of the global HBM supplies. Therefore, the move of President Trump is expected to give fresh momentum to Korea's semiconductor industry, in particular for Samsung Electronics and SK hynix.
Wow, 80% sounds like this is definitely
Yeah,
good news
yeah,
for Korean chip makers. Now,
right,
meanwhile,
right.
also this week, Samsung SDI signed a $1.36 billion contract to supply lithium iron phosphate batteries to a
Hmm.
U.S. firm, though it did not name the customer. And LG Energy Solution also secured a $1.4 billion order from Mercedes-Benz for electric vehicle batteries. So, Professor Kim, do you expect South Korea's battery exports to really maintain and continue this momentum?
I think yes. I think Korean battery makers, find a new momentum and have new momentum to find a new way of exporting the batteries after a couple of years of slump due to the decrease of demand on electric vehicles. Samsung SDI will provide a U.S., like you mentioned, a U.S. energy company, the batteries for ESS, not electric vehicle, right? Energy storage system. As the data centers are becoming a critical infrastructure for AI, the ESS will be demanded more and more. So do the batteries. So Korean battery companies which are producing ESS, energy storage system, will have good chances. When it comes to LG Energy Solution, it is more promising. I mean, including the latest 1.4 billion deal, LG Energy will supply Mercedes-Benz with about 16 billion worth of batteries in total. LG Energy Solution has been preparing to supply higher end, high energy density batteries, including 46 series cylindrical cells. However, the new contract comes as the German automotive group Mercedes is shifting away from a luxury-only strategy and expanding into mid-priced and mass-market electric vehicle models. This means there will be more demand in the future because they are targeting at mid-range markets where they have more demand.
All right, a lot to look forward to. Professor Kim, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today, but
Oh,
thank you so much for your valuable insights. We
all
appreciate it.
right. Thanks for having me.